A lot of people come to Thailand thinking they finally found the answer. Cheaper living, warm weather, friendly people, good food, pretty scenery, and maybe one more chance to start over before life gets away from them. I understand that feeling, I really do. When you first get here, Thailand can feel like somebody opened the door and let the pressure out of your life. But here's the reality check, guys. The Thailand dream has a clock on it. That doesn't mean that Thailand's bad. It doesn't mean you should not come here and give it a shot. It means the vacation feeling will not last forever. Sooner or later, the excitement wears off, the newness fades, and then you find out whether you're actually built a life here or whether you were just living inside a fantasy world. My name is Rick, and this is your Thailand reality check. Before we get into it, if you're thinking about moving to Thailand, retiring here, or spending part of the year here, go on over to ricksadventurestv.com. I have the Thailand reality guide, the Thailand cost calculator spreadsheet, the bundle together, and one-on-one consulting if you want help looking at your own situation. I'm not here to sell you a dream, you guys. I'm here to help you slow down and think before you make a decision that you can't easily undo. So give it a shot and take your time, think it over. All right, let's get ready to get on with the video. Okay, you go through these stages, guys. When you first get to Thailand, it's easy to feel like you beat the system. Back home, everything probably felt expensive, stressful, political, cold, lonely, or just plain worn out. Then you land here, and suddenly your money goes a lot farther. People are smiling, the food's good, the weather's warm, and life feels a bit slower. So, for a lot of men, especially older men, that feeling can be powerful. You start thinking, why did I wait so long? Why didn't I do this years ago? And to be fair, some of that feeling's very real. Thailand can give a man a better day-to-day life if he's prepared for it. You may spend less money, you may get outside more, and you may feel more relaxed. You may not feel as invisible as you did back home. Those things matter. I'm not going to sit here and pretend Thailand doesn't have a lot to offer, because it really does. But the mistake is confusing that first stage with permanent reality. The first stage is part vacation, part freedom, part relief, and part imagination. You're seeing Thailand through fresh eyes, those rose-colored glasses. Everything feels interesting because it's new. Even small things like feel like you're going on an adventure, like going to the markets here, riding through the countryside, seeing the beaches, the coconut trees, eating the different food, meeting new people. It's really exciting at first. The problem starts when a man makes permanent decisions while he's still in that temporary stage. That's when he starts talking about selling everything, buying property, supporting people he barely knows, getting married too fast, or cutting ties back home before he really has tested the waters. That's when the clock starts ticking. Cheap living can really fool you. One of the biggest traps is the idea that Thailand is so cheap you don't have to worry again. Now, compared to many parts of America, Canada, Australia, or Europe, yeah, that's probably true. Thailand can be a lot less expensive. But cheaper does not mean free, and cheaper doesn't fix bad habits. A man can absolutely live a good life here on less money than he would spend back home, but he still has to know where his money's going. Rent, food, transportation, insurance, medical, visas, travel, emergencies. There's all kinds of things that can add up. And if you start adding nightlife with restaurants every day, hotels, gifts, support payments, property mistakes, or flying back and forth to your home country, Thailand can get damned expensive in a hurry. This is where some men get a big surprise and wake-up call. They come here thinking they're rich because their money stretches farther. Then they start spending like crazy. They say yes too often to people, they buy too soon, and they help too much. Then they try to live like they're on a vacation every day. 6 months later, they look at the bank account and realize the dream's eating into their future. That's why I talk so much about numbers, not because numbers are exciting, but because numbers tell the truth when emotions are lying to you. Before you make a move like this, you need to know your real monthly income, your real expenses, your emergency funds, your health care plan, your visa plan, and what happens if Thailand doesn't work out for you. This is exactly why I made the cost calculator spreadsheet for you. Not because everybody's numbers are the same, but because you need to see your numbers before you start making life-changing decisions. Boredom is where the fantasy starts breaking apart. Another thing people don't ever think about is boredom. That sounds really odd because when you're dreaming about moving to Thailand, boredom is probably the last thing on your mind. You're thinking about beaches and mountains and markets, temples, road trips, a slower life. But once you live here, you still have to fill your days, you guys. For some people, that slower life is very peaceful and tranquil for them. For others, it becomes a problem. A man who worked his whole life may think he wants to do nothing, but after a while, doing nothing could start playing with your head. You can only drink coffee so many times a day. You can only walk around the mall so many times. And you can only sit in a bar so many afternoons before you start asking yourself, what the hell are you actually doing with your life? This is where purpose matters. I talk about this a lot. I don't care if your purpose is making videos, working around the farm, learning Thai, exercising, helping your wife, building something online, gardening, fishing, whatever it may be. But, keep yourself healthy, one, and you need something to keep yourself occupied. A man needs a rhythm. He needs a reason to stay sharp and on top of his game. The dream version of Thailand says, come here and relax forever. That sounds great. But the real version says, you better build a life or that empty space will build one for you and get inside your head. Sometimes that empty space gets filled with drinking too much, chasing women, spending money, arguing about politics online, or just sitting around and complaining. Slowly, you lose that man you thought you were going to be to become, or the man you are. So you really should think those things over and be sure you feel like you've got your head squared away and know what your plan's going to be. All right, the relationship side can change the whole story for you. Now, I'm going to say this carefully because people love to twist things around that you say. Thailand has good women and bad women, just like every other country in the world. There's honest families and there's dishonest families. There's loving relationships and then there's just really bad relationships. There's good marriages and there are train wrecks. This is not a Thai thing, you guys. You may hear that a lot, but it's not. It's just a human thing, no matter where you're at. But if you're a foreign man coming here, lonely, excited, and maybe a little too eager to be loved, you need to be cautious. The attention that you get can be good, and it can make you feel a lot younger, and it can make you feel important. But, it can get to the point where while you feel like you're getting a break, you're really not. There are real relationships here. I'm married to a Thai woman, so I'm not sitting here saying all of this from the outside. My wife's a fantastic person, but the dream clock starts ticking fast when a man lets emotion get ahead of judgment. If you start making big financial decisions before you understand the person, the family, and the culture, and the long term reality of and the ramifications of your actions, you may be building your life on sand. Buying land, building a house, paying debts, supporting families, sending money, getting married, or moving across the world. Man, those are some major decisions. Those decisions need time and they need clear thinking and they need to be logical and on numbers. They need trust that was earned, not just felt. A good relationship can make Thailand feel like home. A bad relationship can make Thailand feel like a trap and a nightmare. And sometimes the difference between those two come down to whether a man slowed down long enough to think about what he was doing, discussed it with his girlfriend and wife, laid down the ground rules, and made up his mind to stick to them. All right, guys, culture's not going to bend around you. One thing that will wear some foreigners down quickly is the fact that Thailand's not going to become America, Canada, or Australia or England just because you moved here. This is Thailand. It has its own way of doing things, and you may find it really awkward. That may sound obvious to you, but a lot of people don't live like this. They come here and they get damn angry because things do not work the way they used to work back home. They get mad about paperwork, they get mad about communication, traffic, they get mad about just about everything. Family structure. I've known friends that get mad because they just can't control everything here. But it's a different world, you guys. There's just no way. You have to understand that you're not going to understand everything right away. And you don't have to agree with everything, but you do need to respect that you are a guest in another country. That one attitude will save you a lot of stress and a lot of problems. A man who has to win every argument is going to have a hard time here. A man who thinks loud means right is going to have a very hard time here. A man who thinks his Western way is automatically better and the correct way is going to still have that hard time here. Thailand's going to definitely test your patience. It'll test your humility, and it'll test whether you can adapt without losing yourself. So be sure you are prepared. Have patience, have humility, and things aren't always as they seem. You give it time, think things through before you react to things. All right, everybody, health and age don't stop at the airport for you, as you're well aware. Here is another reality check. Getting on a plane doesn't make you any younger. I certainly wish it did. I would be the very first guy in line buying a ticket on that. A lot of us older guys come over here and we feel better for a while. We walk more, we eat better food that's more healthy, we get sunshine, and we feel a whole lot less stress and pressure. And that can be a good thing, but age still follows you here, guys. Medical issues still come with you. Dental, blood pressure, heart issues, old injuries, Medicare decisions, emergency care. It's a lot of things that still are going to matter to you, and you have to think about it. When you're visiting Thailand, it's easy to think, I feel awesome here. But living here means asking harder questions. What happens if you do possibly get sick? What happens if you need surgery? What happens if you cannot fly? What happens if your money is tied up back home? What happens if your wife or girlfriend can't help you navigate the medical system? I mean, there are lots of variables here you need to think about. I'm not saying this stuff to scare you away, not at all. I'm saying it because a grown man needs to think past the first good year. Have a reality check. Be honest with yourself. The Thailand dream starts with beaches and cheap meals, but the long-term reality includes health, paperwork, family, transportation, and what happens when life doesn't go according to plan. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't come here. It means you should come here with your eyes wide open and a plan in place. Don't be ignorant to what's going on and just believe every fantasy YouTube video. Think about what's going on. Make educated decisions about your travel and what you're going to do. All right, guys, when the dream finally expires for you, you have two choices. At some point, the fantasy is going to wear off. It does for almost everybody. That doesn't mean the life is bad here at all. In fact, this is where the good life can actually start for you, because once the fantasy's gone, you can start building something real for yourself. But you have two choices when that day comes. You can blame Thailand. You can say the country changed, the people changed, the women changed. I see this all the time on YouTube. The prices and rules and everything's somebody else's fault. Some people do go down that road. They sit around angry, bitter, and disappointed because Thailand didn't stay exactly like the dream they had in their head. That's just a fallacy, guys. That's just a complete BS. Now you have the other route. You can be honest and say, now I know what this place really is about. Can I build a good life here or not? And I feel like that's the best question, because Thailand doesn't have to stay a dream, to be worth living in. A real life is better than a fantasy if you're the kind of person who can handle reality. A good quality of life has its routines. It's still going to have bills and responsibilities. It's still going to have family issues and boring days. But it can also have peace, purpose, love, good food, and a much slower pace that fits you better than whatever you left behind. The dream expiring is not always a failure. Sometimes it's the moment you finally stop pretending and start living and getting that quality of life that you've always wanted. So, who do I think Thailand really works for? Thailand works best for people who are honest with themselves, not perfect people, honest people. If you know your numbers, respect the culture, slow down on big decisions, take care of your health and have a backup plan, and have some kind of purpose to life in your coming days, Thailand can be a great place to live. It can give you so much more room to breathe and lower your stress levels. It can help you stretch your retirement money out considerably. It can give you a life that feels more human than what you had before. Believe me. But if you come here thinking Thailand owes you happiness, you're probably going to be very disappointed. No country owes you peace or anything. No woman owes you purpose, or no cheaper cost of living owes you There's just so many things that people come over here with an entitled feeling. You still have to bring something to the table yourself. And that's part of what I want you guys to understand before, you sell and jump to Thailand and think it's part of the answer. It can be, but you still have to be the kind of person who can live well when nobody is forcing structure on you. You've got to take the time to think things through. Be sure it's going to be a good fit for you. Be sure you can handle the cultural changes because they are drastic. Be sure you're ready to deal with all of the problems Thailand brings, along with all of the pros it brings. In my book, it brings far more pros than cons. Okay, guys, to summarize everything, when I say Thailand dream has a clock on it, I'm not telling you not to come here at all. I'm telling you not to confuse the first exciting chapter in your new life with the whole book. Come visit, stay a while, learn the pace, the cost, the rules, the relationship expectations. Learn what a normal day would actually look like for you after the vacation feeling wears off. Then make decisions from reality, not emotion. Because Thailand can be a wonderful place to live, but it's not magic, you guys. It's not going to stop time, and it's not going to erase bad habits of your past. It's not going to, fix every lonely place inside of you. It's not going to protect you from making really bad decisions either. You need to do that. But if you come here with a clear head, clear eyes, and a real plan, and mainly humility to learn, you might find something better than you ever dreamed of. You might build a real life here. If you're thinking about moving to Thailand, retiring here, or spending part of the year here, visit ricksadventurestv.com. You'll find the Thailand reality guide, the Thailand cost calculator spreadsheet, and the bundle of them together. If you need one-on-one consulting with me, give me a message. If you want to, we can look through your situation for you. And maybe I can help you before you make a big move. I'm not an attorney. I'm not, an immigration officer. I'm not a health advisor. I'm just a regular guy with boots on the ground here, and I want to help you if I can. I do feel like that I've got a lot of experience. I've got many years here now, and Thailand's my home, and I'm married to a beautiful Thai lady, and we have a great life here. So hopefully it works out for you too, and I can help you make smart decisions and decide whether it can work for you too, or if you're better off to think about something else. So this is Rick with Rick's Adventures TV. Be safe, be healthy, be happy, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.